Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. My name is Dr. Ray. I'm happy to have you here. Welcome to my channel. I answer pet related questions and I answer a lot of questions related to pet food. That's kind of what this channel has morphed into. I do have a playlist where I've got all these food ranked, because what we are going to do today is we're going to use a pet food scoring system that I developed to help keep pet food simple. A lot of people in the comments all the time are like, this is so confusing. I don't know why, this has to be so confusing, and it doesn't. And so I'm trying to help you. This is going to be, a very stress-free, and enjoyable experience. At least that's what I want for you guys on my channel. I do not, this is not going to be a militant, belligerent channel. We try to keep things, fun and lighthearted, because that's what we want for our pets, and that's what I want for you too. And so we're going to evaluate a food today. It's called TLC PET Food. Didn't even know this existed. You guys bring me some of the most odd and things I've never even heard of before, and this was one of them. TLC PET Food. This was an email question to me from Rocco, and he said, can you evaluate this food? He sent me actually some of the links, which was awesome. If you guys want to do that, you can email me at animaldocray@gmail.com. And I try to get through as many of these as I can, but I am a small animal general practitioner. I do practice 5 to 6 days a week, and so I kind of just do this for fun with you guys on my spare time. So not super timely in getting back to you, but I do try to do these. And so Rocco emailed me and said, hey, can you look at this food? I think it's let me see, actually. Rocco, actually the dog is Rocco. Rocco said, I think the puppy is a 10 and the adult maybe an 8, because I find that the calcium and phosphorus are off. So let's do a review on TLC, the puppy and the adult, and let's see if we can help Rocco out today understand pet food in a fun, friendly manner, right? Okay, so if you want to follow along, we're going to use the PSS scorecard like we always do, and we're going to evaluate this food for optimal levels as illustrated and small animal clinical nutrition. You can go to tlcpetfood.com to follow along, and we're going to get started there. Let's see, he sent me the whole life puppy food typical guaranteed analysis. It is 450 kcals per cup. Yep. So let's see which one that is for all breeds and sizes. So let's see if we can find that. Yeah, so basically they only have one option for the puppy. Okay, there's pictures of some puppies eating it, so you can see a picture of the kibble there. So it's saying all sizes, all breeds, this is good for them. So we're going to go through the PSS system. This is the deal with when you have foods and you're basing things on the guaranteed analysis. And so guaranteed analysis is going to have 5 points on the PSS system. When you use this chart that Rocco provided us, you can see here you have the guaranteed analysis here, and then right next to the guaranteed analysis you have the typical analysis. You want to migrate and get your brain thinking of, okay, we want to do a typical analysis, not a guaranteed analysis. And so if you come down here to the stars, you can see what they're saying is the guaranteed analysis refers to the minimum or maximum nutrient levels in the formula, where the typical analysis represents the average level of the nutrients as tested by independent laboratories. And so we want this number here. We do not want the numbers over here on the guaranteed analysis. These are minimums and maximums. We do not want that. We want this typical analysis, and we want it on a dry matter basis. Now, they did not provide that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a simple conversion today. Now, I've done that conversion, so we're just going to snap, and here are those numbers. But if you want to learn how to do conversion to dry matter basis, I do have a video on that. But for speediness today, since we are doing 2 foods, we're just going to go ahead and use these numbers that I've already calculated for you guys. Okay, so we're going to now evaluate with these numbers, and we're going to see if the guaranteed analysis is on point, like Rocco suggested that maybe he thought it was. And so we're going to pull up a chart here that is for puppy. Now they're not specifically saying if this is a large breed puppy or a regular puppy. There are only two distinctions for puppy. It's either a regular puppy or a large breed. And so a large breed is a dog that's going to be greater than 70 pounds at maturity. And there is going to be a difference. They're not specifying, at least they're not specifying here. They did allude to it, saying they said all puppies, all breeds, all sizes, that this is basically a large breed puppy. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at both charts just so that we can illustrate what the difference is and why it's important to feed to the correct life stage. So there is our regular puppy, and then where is our large breed puppy? All right. Let's go through the guaranteed analysis and see what points we can assign here before we go on to some of the other point-worthy parameters, at least in my opinion. Okay, so protein, they're saying for a regular puppy should be somewhere between 22 and 35. If it's a large breed, we need a little bit less. I know that seems counterintuitive, but that is the way that it is. That is what the research suggests. So a large breed puppy actually needs lower protein, needs it between 20 and 32%. This food is coming in at protein at 33.3 when we do the conversion. And so it would be okay for a regular puppy, but it is slightly in excess for a large breed. Calcium is going to be the next parameter. Again, you can see the difference here between a puppy and a large breed's optimal requirements. And this is really important for large breeds because of the way their bones grow and how they can get growing pains and brittle bone development if they do not have the correct calcium to phosphorus mineral ratio. And so we've got a difference that you'll see here. For calcium, the formula, once corrected, is coming in at 1.8. That's going to be in excess of what a regular puppy needs and exceedingly in excess of what a large breed needs. The phosphorus at 1.38, again, is going to be in excess of both categories. Fat at 21 is going to be okay for the regular puppy and is going to be in excess in the large breed puppy. So again, we don't want large breeds growing too crazy fast, because if that happens, they do get some growing pains and some developmental anomalies. And so unfortunately, it looks like the large breed puppy is really going to get, if this food is being marketed or saying that it's all breeds, all sizes, then for a large breed puppy, it's looking like this is going to be pretty inappropriate based on the nutrients alone. Fiber is not really, they do get a point, and both of these will get a point for the fiber, because fiber in a puppy is just really not that super important, so I always give them all the points. The fiber did come in at 6.2%, just if you wanted to know what that value was. So the large breed is only going to get 1 point. The regular puppy was off on the calcium and the phosphorus, so they're going to get 2 points there. So let me write that down on my little scorecard here. 2 points for the guaranteed analysis for the regular puppy and 1 for the large breed. Let's go on to some of the other parameters. Next thing I want to look for is that AAFCO statement, and because that's where we're going to see what they actually legally intended this dog food to be fed. And so right here it says TLC whole life food is 100% complete and balanced. It does not require the addition of supplements. I totally agree with not adding supplements to food. It gets very difficult to add a supplement to a food just to try to fix a deficiency. And so I don't believe, honestly, in supplements very often. And so if you know your pet has a deficiency and it needs a supplement, that's fine. If you're just doing it willy-nilly, you probably are either over-supplementing or wasting your money, essentially, because supplements, especially when you're using them to correct a deficiency of the food, a lot of these minerals and vitamins and things like that interact with other vitamins and minerals. And this is way beyond my expertise. This is something that you would need to talk to a biochemist about or a nutritionist about. I am not a board certified nutritionist. I'm just a general practitioner, and I'm not a biochemist. I did take biochemistry and I did take nutrition, but not to the level that some of these specialists have. And so you can't just simply add these things here and everything work harmoniously together. And so I agree with this statement, and you really shouldn't just try to add a supplement for no reason willy-nilly. And if a food is so deficient that you feel like you need to add a supplement, it's probably best just to move on, to be quite honest. But that's not the AAFCO statement. The AAFCO statement is here. TLC whole life puppy food is formulated to meet the nutritional levels established by AAFCO dog nutrient profiles for growth, including growth of large sized dogs. And I'm going to have to disagree with that, because the nutrient profile for large breed dogs was all over the place. Legally, yes, it probably meets AAFCO standards, but as far as optimal standards, no. And so yeah, we're going to continue to move on, but I'm going to have to disagree with this. They are going to lose, they're going to lose a point, and some people may say that they should lose 2 points because, actually they're going to lose 2 points because it's all life stages, and we already know that it's inappropriate for one of the life stages. And so they're going to lose 2 points here. You don't get any points on the AAFCO statement. We'd like a food that was feeding child, and we would like a food that's for the appropriate life stage. And so actually they're going to be losing 2 points here as well. And so puppy's going to be stuck at a 2 for a regular puppy and a 1 for a large breed puppy. Ingredient list, as long as it's not grain-free or raw, I'm going to go ahead and give ingredients. If this food was like stellar and I was like, wow, I really just want to dive into the ingredient list, I would, but so far I'm a little bit, I'm not being driven to get into the ingredient list any further than is it grain-free or raw, and it's not. So we're going to go ahead and give them each 2 points for that. So it's going to bring this one up to a 4 and this one up to a 3. Next thing we want to do is we want to check out the feeding guide. That is the last thing on the list. Okay. And so what you do is you take the resting energy required, you multiply it by 3 if you're feeding a puppy up to 3 months. And so that's why they are breaking it down into all these different life stages, because the energy requirement for growth changes. And so I do like that they did that. I'm really pleased with that. Let's see. Useful feeding calculator, feeding recommendations, auto ship frequency, approximately daily feeding costs. We'll get into that. We'll get into that and see what the cost to feed is. So we're going to use 20 pounds, which is down here, 9.5 kilograms, 21 pounds. It's suggesting that we feed 2 1/3 cups. The resting energy requirement for that 20-pound animal is 363. So let's see. They have how many kcals per cup somewhere for us. I thought we saw it earlier somewhere. Oh, we saw it on the analysis here. Okay, so 450 kcals per cup. And they're saying 2 1/3. So where's my calculator here? So it was 480, or I can't read my handwriting, 250. Typical doctor handwriting. I cannot read my own handwriting. Right, 450 times 2.3. It's saying 1035 kcals per day is what they're recommending to feed that. I would say 363 times 3, 1089. That's pretty close. Okay, so I'm gonna give them a point for the feeding guide. So we're gonna add a point here to each. And so that is gonna actually bring the puppy up to 2, 4, a 5 if it's a regular puppy, and only a 4 if it is if it's a large breed. And so that's how I would work through this food. And if you've been following along, you can see how I would do that. Let's check the cost really quick. Maybe, I don't know. I really hate these calculator things. Okay, it's saying for 7 weeks, it will cost you $1.36 per day. And they're recommending you feed 2.25 cups, which we already said was appropriate. So there you have it on the puppy version. And so let's go and run through the adult really quick. It should be quicker because we're only doing one version. Okay. So again, this is whole life dog food. I'm only going to do one version. I'm just going to do the adult, but they're saying that this could also be fed to a senior. We know senior has more restrictive requirements than just a regular adult. So if it looks good for the adult, then maybe we can run through it, or you guys can run through it using the senior parameters as well. And so again, we're going to have to do this conversion. So I'm just going to do, there it is. Okay, so let's pull up the chart, our chart for what is optimal based on small animal clinical nutrition. Actually, let's just pop up senior dog too, because you guys always ask me about senior dog. So I don't have a playlist specifically for senior dogs, but let's just go ahead while we have it. And we've already done the calculations. Let's just do it. Okay. So, protein, as you can see, when we converted it, it was 28.8%. So that's going to be appropriate for an adult, but it is going to be a little bit in excess for a senior. So again, you can see not appropriate for all life stages. So far you can see that there is there's a distinction there and a difference there. Next parameter is calcium. This food, when you did the conversion, came up to 1.5. 1.5 on the calcium is going to be excess for the adult and extremely excess for our senior dog. Phosphorus at 1 is going to be in excess for an adult dog and is going to be okay for the senior. So they're going to get 1 point there for the senior. The fiber is going to be okay because it just needs to be greater than 2 for the senior dog, but less than 5 for the adult. So they're each going to get a point there. Fat between 10 and 20. This one did 18, so we're okay on the fat. A little bit excessive fat for a senior dog that maybe is not as mobile. So let's see if we can't count up. That was all over the place. Let's just see where we can... senior adult, let's see where we can add the points there. So 3 points for the adult and 2 points there for the senior dog for the typical analysis. Let's run through and see. Let's go back to their website and go to the shop dog. Let's see if we can run through and see where we can get some more points. So we already know they're going to get 2 points because it's not grain-free or raw. So 2 and 2 on that. We're going to run down to the AAFCO statement, which we already kind of have a sneaky suspicion they're not going to get points here. Yeah, because it's formulated and it's also saying it's all life stages, including the growth of large size puppies, and so I'm not sure how it could be an adult and a puppy at the same time. That just makes no sense. So they are going to lose 2 points on the AAFCO statement. And then the feeding guide should be pretty simple because you don't have to do any type of multiplier there. So we should just be able to find that 20-pound dog. We gotta, yeah, so you have to skip past all that puppy stuff. Because you shouldn't. That's the number one warning sign. If your adult dog food has feeding guidelines for puppies, that right there should be like, what's going on? Why are they giving me puppy recommendations on my adult food? I think that maybe, that could be a warning sign for you guys. Let's see. So they're saying, of course, they're not going to have this exactly how we need it. Usually I'll use 20 pounds. They don't have 20 pounds here. They have 10 pounds. So let's pull up the chart. So a 10-pound dog needs about 218, actually I should have known that, 218 kcals for a 10-pound dog. They're saying to feed 3/4 of a cup, and this food was 440, so 440 times 0.75 is 330. That is a bit much, but when you use the resting energy requirement, there is a multiplier that you can multiply up to 1.6, 348. Okay, I'm going to give them a point there because it just doesn't much matter. With the resting energy requirement, usually I do not use the multiplier. The multiplier is 1.6 for adults. And the reason why I don't is most dogs are very sedentary and domesticated dogs, and so if you feed that multiplier, a lot of times as a veterinarian I find that dogs become obese because you're not just feeding food. I know you're not. You're feeding treats, you're giving a couple licks off your plate, you're giving them the last bit of your ice cream. I know you guys are doing that, and so I don't use the multiplier for that reason, but I'm not going to hold them against that because they don't know these dirty little secrets that you have that I know. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a point for the feeding guide. So that's going to bring, if you're feeding this to a senior, this food's only a 4. I would not recommend this food for a senior. I'm not your pet's veterinarian, and so it's just like a generic, I would not recommend it. So obviously always speak to your veterinarian about diet changes. But for me, just in general, it doesn't seem like this would be appropriate for a senior. And then for an adult, it's only bringing it up to a 5 if you follow the PSS. And so that shows you do need to do the conversions, because I think that's sometimes a little bit where people get messed up here with the guaranteed analysis. If you don't feel comfortable doing the math or the conversion, you can always just call the company and ask them for those numbers. And so I hope that was helpful to all of you, and definitely Rocco that was so kind to email me. And this was the evaluation of TLC, dog food, pet food. They also have cat food, and it was the evaluation we did large breed puppy, senior, and adult. And so I hope that was helpful for you guys. Please join me again on another Thursday. We'll hang out again. Leave me comments, share, tell your friends, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. It really helps me out and lets me know that you guys enjoy this content. And we will hang out again real soon.